Welcome to the Gardening Show. My name is Dory Hammeke, and I'm honored to serve as your host today. I currently serve as president for the Bella Vista Garden Club, and I'm also a member of the Benton County Master Gardeners. And both of those organizations support the TV station by sponsoring this program. So we're so grateful for their support, and we're really happy to have all of you tuning in today. We have two special guests with us, and that includes John Dyas from the Clay Studio, that's part of the Wishing Springs Gallery, and Louise Wilson. Louise is also a member with me of the Bella Vista Garden Club. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you, Dory.
Thank you. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
John, why don't we start first? We've got a great project that we're going to talk about today that was kind of at John's suggestion, and it's a project that we're doing in conjunction with the Clay Studio and the Bella Vista Garden Club. But before we talk about that project, how about if you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you, Dory. I fell in love with pottery in college. Never had a pottery class or didn't do any art classes at all, but in college I just fell in love with clay and the entire process in pottery, and have done it off and on for quite a few years. I graduated back in '76, and so I've enjoyed that process, but back then I was a pot-smoking hippie, and so that's what the whole artist community was kind of about, and I really enjoyed the community and the process of art and all of that. But my wife and I became Christians in the process, and kind of our lives took a different direction for 35 years. And so I didn't do any of my art or my pottery for 35 years. And then in 2022, I'd driven by the Wishing Springs Gallery and the Clay Studio thousands of times, probably, like everybody else. And I decided to stop in and see what they did there. And I threw a pot, and they could see that I knew what I was doing, and I was halfway decent at it. And so they offered me a job teaching a class. And so that was my connection with the Clay Studio and kind of the start of this connection with the Garden Club.
That's awesome. And your work is beautiful. I've seen pots and vases and so forth that John has created, and his work is truly beautiful. And I can only imagine, as a teacher and instructor, just the passion that he is sharing with the students. Tell us a little bit about just that connection between the Clay Studio and the Wishing Springs Gallery. Are they one and the same, or how are they connected?
So they're connected through a 501c3 nonprofit that is called the Artisan Alliance. And so the Artisan Alliance actually started all the way, it was called the Village Art Club for years, started all the way back in 1966. By a couple of ladies who were artists themselves, and they decided to sell some pottery on the side of old Highway 71 out there. And they got the idea they didn't need the money, and so they got the idea of giving a scholarship to a graduating high school senior who was going to go to college, needed it. And that artist turned out to be somebody special, came back and told them, I couldn't have done this without you. And so it started this whole idea of starting a nonprofit to be able to provide art scholarships like that. Artisan Alliance is the umbrella organization. Underneath that is, you mentioned, the gallery at Wishing Springs. So that is the barn-like structure that was donated by the Coopers in the 70s. But back behind that is the Clay Studio where I work, and that is a teaching studio where we offer clay classes.
So you have everything you need there to create pots, the kiln, and all the supplies that would be needed for.
Yeah, I walked into it thinking, and excuse me, I thought it was little old ladies painting pottery and things like that, which was popular years ago. But no, it is a fully equipped ceramic studio. So we have potter's wheels for throwing pottery. We have all the hand building equipment. We have a tremendous glazing area, and we also have. We have pictures up of some of our students doing their work there, and it's a wonderful facility to be able to work in.
That's terrific. And Louise, how about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from Tulsa, and we moved here to Bella Vista in 2008 when my husband took a job with Walmart in IT, and we built a house. and along with that realized there was very much a challenge between Tulsa and Bella Vista gardening. In Tulsa we had clay, and here we have rocks. So it was a challenge and we started from scratch. My husband got grass growing, and we just learned. But I became acquainted with, I knew about the garden club, but I was volunteering at Helping Hands and doing some other things. But I got involved with the garden club. A friend invited me back in 2015 and joined the garden club, and then I started doing the garden therapy. At first I did Ways and Means Committee, and then I moved into garden therapy and have been doing that for about 6 or 7 years.
Tell us a little bit about garden therapy. What exactly do you do as part of garden therapy?
Well, garden therapy is a wonderful, I just love it. We go to Concordia Catered Living and Brookfield Assisted Living, and we do projects with the residents. And we do 3 times a year generally, and I try and do sometimes tied around the holidays possibly, if Valentine's Day, or in the winter time we'll do pine cone bird feeders, where we take pine cones and ice them with peanut butter and roll them in seeds, and the residents love that. We hang them outside of their residence or in the dining area outside so they can enjoy the birds. We make wreaths, and we do floral arrangements. Just anything that can involve is something that they can do, and it's very rewarding.
I can only imagine how the residents would love that time with people.
Oh, yes.
Just whether they are artistic, it doesn't matter.
No,
it's
no,
just more the camaraderie than anything.
Yes, they
probably.
enjoy it, and we have a member that will come to Brookfield, and she plays the piano while we're working, and the residents that aren't participating in the project enjoy that. But it's a very rewarding. The people are very appreciative, and I really enjoy doing it.
How beautiful.
Yes.
Well, you have a project that you're working on now with those residents of Concordia.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what that involves.
Okay. Well, we're working with Concordia Independent Living on we have the pots that the Clay Studio is providing, and a lot of them are student-made pots, and they're just beautiful. You can tell by the ones we have displayed. There's just great creativity and just a very diverse what we're getting. And what we're doing is we have pots in small, medium, and large, and we're planting those. The Concordia Independent Living coordinator that we're working with, she is taking orders, and then we fill the pots, and then we're taking orders for the pots from Concordia till the 20th, and then we're going to go, we'll be filling the pots. The garden club members will be filling the pots with different things. We'll be using succulents and all types of outdoor plants. A lot of it will be probably indoor plants in the pots, and we're filling those, and then we'll deliver them the end of April, and we will plan to, and that's one of the projects we have.
Well, is this project pretty much tied to Mother's Day then? Is that the
Yes.
thinking behind it?
Right, Mother's Day and May Day, and we're also going to be doing the outdoor
Okay.
pots.
So, John, for your folks there at the studio, I imagine this would give them a lot of repeated experience, even though each of these pots, as we can see, is one of a kind. Each one is still made by hand.
Yeah.
And designed individually, correct?
Yes, and it's just, we're so excited to be a part of this project, and as we started talking about it, most of our students are from Bella Vista, our teachers are all from Bella Vista, we're a part of this community, and to be able to connect more with other people in the community and another club and the Concordia organization was just a blessing for us. But yes, the opportunity to be able to do these pots has been wonderful for our students because it's not quite as serious as something formal that they would try to make, and it can be more relaxed. They can make several of them, and I had the opportunity to keep pressing them to say, make more pots, make more pots, make more pots. And so it's been a wonderful opportunity for us. We're excited about it.
That's terrific. That's terrific. Well, we have a second project that we'll try to describe here kind of quickly also. Louise, you want to talk about that one?
Sure. We started this last year with the independent living, and they had pots of the residents had their own patio pots. We're calling it patio pot planting, and we purchased soil and different plants, perennials to plant for in their pots. And we met the first part of May. This time we're doing a little different. Some of them are ordering these, and so those will be delivered sooner, but the Mother's Day, Memorial Day, garden, May Day is going to be, we'll be delivering, or we'll be purchasing the pots first part of May, and then planting them at the Concordia Independent Living on the 8th of May.
I think that's correct.
And
I think that's
so
the day that
it's
was
just,
scheduled.
yes, and a lot of them will have their own pots, and we just go and plant. Or if they don't have a pot, we go ahead and provide a pot and plant the perennials or just annuals, just to give some color, and it's very welcome there.
For each of us as we get older, it gets a little harder to bend down and fill those pots. So I'm sure Concordia has some just incredible residents there, but I know that some of them are getting to that point where they appreciate the extra help in getting things planted for them. Well, we're going to go ahead and just take a brief break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about plant sales that are coming up, an opportunity to find those plants that you want for your garden. We're back. That was fast. And when I turned around, I noticed these beautiful flowers behind us. They were brought on set by Avenues by Design. And aren't they fun? They look like they'd be a great, addition to any home party or anything like that. Beautiful piece. Well, I told you when we got back that we would talk about the upcoming plant sales, and that's what we're going to do. So the first sale coming up will be held on Saturday, April 20th. And this one is led by the folks at the Bella Vista Garden Club. They have 3 different plants that we sell at this first sale. The first one is coleus, zinnias, and tomatoes. And I can tell you they've been growing in the greenhouse, and they are just beautiful. You're going to love putting these in your garden. They're really terrific plants. And the coleus are all kinds of different colors, and the zinnias have a lot of different colors. So there's lots of variety for you to choose from. Now, that sale will be held at the wastewater facility, which is on the north end of Bella Vista, just right off Highway 71. When you come into the town, you'll see the welcome sign for Bella Vista, and the wastewater facility is just right behind that. So just watch for that sign. They will have several hundred of each of these plants, so plenty for you to choose from. The plants will be $7 each, or 3 for $20. And these are good-sized pots. They're all gallon pots, so they're quite a bit larger than what you're going to find in your box store or other places, but they've been cared for, and they're just going to be really healthy. The payments can be made with credit card or cash. We try to make it really easy, and just really hope you'll come out and join us there. And John, I think this is the first time that we're also going to have a table set up with your pottery.
Yes, we're very excited. We're going to set a table up. We're having a pot party this coming Sunday. We're all at, oh no, not that kind. We're having a flower pot party down at the Clay Studio this coming Sunday to throw all the pots that we can to get ready. But yes, we plan to offer those for sale as a compliment to if somebody buys a plant, then they can also buy a flower pot for it to go in if they want to. We're excited about it.
He truly is a hippie from the 70s. We're so glad to have you, John. And I think, you know, you're going to just find all kinds of variety of things at that first sale, and then there will be another sale coming up right behind it about a month later. This is the one that's held in Bentonville at the Methodist Church, and it will be on May 17th and 18th. This one is put on by the Benton County Master Gardeners. It's always a huge sale. They'll have probably 4,000 or more plants. It includes perennials, annuals, shrubs, trees, herbs, houseplants, natives, etc. They also have gently used garden tools that you can purchase for your home use, and sometimes they'll have some garden supplies, sometimes some natural fertilizers and so forth. So it's just a huge variety of things that you can find at that sale. On Friday, the sale starts at 7 o'clock and runs until 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, it starts at 7:30 and will run until 2 p.m. And the last I heard, I think they were planning to have some just hourly sessions, or like almost on every hour, where someone would come and talk about different topics, whether that might be bees or how to involve your children in the garden, just a host of different topics that'll be fun to, if you have enough time to sit in and listen to those. The third and final sale that I wanted to mention is also put on by the Bella Vista Garden Club. And this one will be held on Saturday, June 1st, also at the wastewater facility there off 71 Highway. And this one will run from 8 o'clock until 1 o'clock. And most of the time you want to come early,
Yes.
because it's not unusual for them to sell out. They get just a host of visitors. The prices are wonderful, so people can, you know, get all the plants that they need for their garden. And the other thing that's great about that is that the members of the garden club who are there are generally quite knowledgeable about the various plants. And so they can answer a lot of questions that you have and you know, help you with the decisions that you might be facing about which plant to put in a certain location in your yard. Again, those plants will be $7 each. There will also be house plants there, and some trees and shrubs. And the house plants and trees and shrubs may be a little bit more expensive, but they'll all be at a really great price for you. John, I think you've attended that before. And,
I have, and you do have to get there early.
Yes,
The things that I went to
yes.
get were all sold out by the time I got there.
Yeah, it's just a great opportunity for some wonderful plants.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we have had a chance to put up on the screen the flyer that shows the dates for that, if anyone wants to make sure they've made note of them for their to put on their calendars here. There we go. It's up there now. Terrific. Yeah. So you'll see those first three, April 20th, that's Saturday. And I don't know if we showed the pictures also of some of those coleus and zinnia plants. Look at them there. Look at all the colors that you can choose from. You can imagine in some of these pots how terrific those are going to look with the contrast in colors and so forth. Love the lime green coleus especially. They're so bright in any planting that you might do. All righty. And did we have some zinnias there also, or tomatoes? There we go. Now these shots were taken a little bit ago, and those tomatoes are already probably double that in size, and by the time of the sale they'll be very, very healthy plants for you to put in your gardens. All righty. Well, let's move on and talk about things that we need to do in our yards or gardens during the month of April. John, anything going on in your yard right now?
Well, I am not the gardener in my family. My wife, Claire, is a fantastic gardener, and she is busy out there with these gallon milk jugs, kind of nurturing her little plants to come up. But she is also a potter, and she has done an interesting clay totem pole that's the latest decoration to our garden. And so she puts that out there with different pieces that she has made and stacked them up. And so we're excited to see what that looks like. But it's an exciting time of year.
Yeah, it's bound to be beautiful.
Yeah.
And, you know, the weather has really started to cooperate with us, where it's been beautiful days to get outside. We were commenting just as we came into the studio today about the dogwoods and the redbuds this year in Bella Vista. They're probably as beautiful as I think I've ever seen them in all the years that we've lived here. Louise, how about you? Are you guys doing anything in your garden right now?
Leaf removal, and just kind of uncovering and planning to do more mulching, and trying to keep the deer away from anything that's coming up yet. Just basically cleaning up the beds, and now getting ready to start planting. I had a little damage from the winter on some plants. Had some nandinas that didn't do well with that cold. So just have some things to correct, try and make it look a little better now.
I've had the same issue with our nandinas, and we faced that about, was it 3 years ago when we had that
Yes.
really hard freeze?
Yes.
I thought for sure they were dead, and everybody kept saying, just wait, just give them a little bit more time, and sure enough, they came out. And when I was looking at them yesterday, I saw the beginning of green coming out from what looked like these brown stems.
Yes,
and
it's
so
awful.
I'm going to wait a little longer and hope that they make it through. But garden cleanup is definitely one of the things that you want to be focused on during the month of April. It's a perfect time to do it. Your perennials will be starting to come up, so you can kind of tell the difference between those weeds and the flowers that you have in your garden. So the other thing that you want to do, if you haven't done it already, is be sure and put out your hummingbird feeder. I've seen reports just in recent days that people have spotted their first hummingbirds in Bella Vista. And normally there's a period of about 6 months. You usually see them around the 1st of April, and then they skedaddle out of here in around the 1st of October. But they're so beautiful, and you want to put up your bird feeders if you haven't done that already. You can make your own nectar, and all you need to do is use a ratio of 4 to 1, and that would be 4 cups of water and 1 cup of sugar. You actually don't need to boil it, but you do want to make sure it's dissolved. So you just stir that until it's dissolved, and if you do heat it, you want to make sure it's cooled down, and then put it in your feeders and wait for those beautiful little birds to arrive. And you'll find that they will be fairly territorial.
Yes.
Sometimes you'll get several at the feeder, and they will fight with one another to protect their space at the feeder. But they're beautiful to watch. As far as perennials, this is the time to go ahead and just full speed with planting your perennials. Anytime this month and next month, the soil is now warm enough that it's a safe time to do that. If you're thinking about annuals, though, and this is when they're really starting to show up in all the garden stores and the box stores and so forth, it's a little bit early right now, but if you give it a couple weeks, it'll be warm enough for you to start planting those annuals. Sometimes you want to wait till almost the 1st of May in northwest Arkansas. They just don't like those cool nights. If you have bulbs, and we know there's lots of bulbs that have been planted around Bella Vista because the Garden Club has planted over 20,000 daffodils around the city. You'll see them at all of our public buildings, the fire stations and police station, the new Public Works building, and those daffodils have been beautiful. There's a variety called the Bella Vista daffodil, which is white. It has white petals with these beautiful orange cups, and it blooms mid-season. And it's just, you'll see them all over town, and they're really beautiful. But if you've had those bulbs come up, whether it be daffodils or tulips even, you want to make sure that you leave the green until it turns completely brown. So it's about 6 to 8 weeks that you want to leave those in place. And it's really tempting to mow over them or cut them down, but don't do it. When you cut those off, what you do is you prevent the bulb from getting the nourishment that it needs to bloom the following year. So be brave and leave them up. Just don't cut them too early. How about houseplants? Have you guys put houseplants outside?
I have not. I'm waiting a little bit longer. I've got them in this, in a big sunny spot, but I'm afraid it's a little bit too early.
It absolutely is. It's really tempting. But the best thing to do right now with your houseplants is give them just a few minutes, well, maybe a few hours outside during the sunny part of the day to start to acclimate. We would call that hardening off. but you want to give them a little bit of time to get acclimated to the warmer days so that they don't get scalded right away when you put them out. But you could start with an hour. The next day or so, you might add another half hour and so forth, and you could do that for a week or two before you actually put them out. And with lawns, do you have a lawn?
Yes, we do.
Have you fertilized it yet?
Yes, my husband put weed and feed out, and he's working on trying to kill, there's a certain weed that is the bane of our, it has these little seeds that pop, I forget the name of it,
Yeah.
but it has just, but yes, he's fertilized, and I fertilized my outdoor shrubs and things, but yeah, he hasn't cut the lawn yet. That's coming like next week.
It won't be long. And
It
then
won't be long.
Then it's just forever
Yes,
until finally
yes.
you've had enough of it and you say, I'm letting it go. Well, it is a good time to fertilize, especially if you have fescue. If you have Bermuda, or what we might call a summer grass that needs more heat, it's better off to wait until May when they've started to green up a little bit. So you might hold off if you've got Bermuda, but the others you can definitely go ahead and fertilize right now. If you have roses, an old rule is to trim your roses when the forsythia blooms. So that is generally February, so you might have already done that. If not, you could do it, but the new growth will start to be, coming out right now. If your roses are established and you want to fertilize them, this is a perfect time to do it, but you want to water first, fertilize, and then water again so it gets, worked into the soil. How about vegetable gardens? I'm assuming Claire's already got some of that started.
Claire's already doing that in her gallon milk jugs, and she's got several things coming up. She loves garlic and onions, and we've got quite a bit of that already going. And she's planted some lettuce and some early cool weather things. So
That's terrific.
yeah.
Yeah, this is a time especially for things like lettuce and kale, some of those greens, your peas and turnips. It's too early for tomatoes.
Yes.
It's too early for green beans, but it's a perfect time of year for beets and cabbage, all those wonderful, delicious vegetables that like the cooler weather. If you'd like more information about what to do in your garden each month, you can go to the Bella Vista Garden Club website, and it'll have information that will guide you to the right things to do each month of the year. We have some meetings coming up. The next Benton County Master Gardeners meeting will be on Tuesday, May 7th. That's at 5:30 p.m. for the social time, and then the meeting starts at 6 o'clock. That's at the lounge at the Bella Vista. It always sounds funny to say that, but the lounge is one of the meeting rooms for the Bentonville Church of Christ, and that's on Northwest 8th Street in Bentonville. And then our next Garden Club meeting will be held on Wednesday, April 26th. We always do that the fourth Wednesday of the month. That's held at the Bella Vista Community Church, which is located at 75 Lancashire Road. We start at 9:30, and then the meeting starts at 10 o'clock. And guests are always welcome. We'd love to have you come. So we've talked about a lot of different things today. We've talked about the wonderful projects that are going on at Concordia in preparation for Mother's Day. We've talked about some exciting events coming up for all of our organizations, and we really hope that you'll help support us at the upcoming plant sales. The money that we raise from those is used to fund scholarships for horticulture students at the University of Arkansas. So it's kind of our way of paying back to the community, paying back to the youth of our community, and helping them get started for a future in horticulture or some related field. So we are so grateful, Louise and John, for you joining us today.
Thank you, Dory.
Yes,
Thank you for letting us be a part of your day today. And I hope you'll get out in the garden, enjoy this beautiful weather, take a little time to smell the roses.
Yes.